Alright, so Bell is just 69 circled twice. Means flux capacitor, means energy. Gigawatts guy. So, Kill Bill. What do you pass for your invisible lines of division? What are they called? You pass a bill, right? You have a Bill of Rights, right? The word that we use to create laws of man, to further divide man, are called bills, which mean a 69 circled twice, which kind of means 3 69s, which kind of means a tetrahedron, which kind of means sacred geometry, which kind of means a 5 is a 1 to connect the 69s, which kind of means a 3 is a 1, which kind of means the cellular energy device needs 5 wheels on the vertices and 3 wheels on the faces, which kind of means perhaps the whole thing has to be encapsulated in that paper kite grid of 14 by 4 by 14, which kind of means the space between the magnets gets bigger, making it a little bit more realistic to create these 3 voltage sources with neodymium magnets, insulating tape, tungsten coils, and I guess a steel antenna. Which kind of means either I have the basis of the greatest work of fiction of all time, or based on my argument from ignorance, which according to my Cégep philosophy paper, which is the first thing, circled 1, which is like a 2, because in Schoolhouse Rock, or not Schoolhouse Rock, but that Sesame Street counting song, it starts off with 2, and then the pinball starts. Anyway, argument from ignorance when something is argued that it is true on the ground that it hasn't been proven false. Okay, now it's just a matter of how many synchronicities does it take numerically for one to convince themselves that this is not a coincidence. Huh. Wow. So, alien ant farm, praying mantis. I'm watching Man of Steel right now, thinking about the whole Superman thing and what it truly means if we do live in a grid of possible infinite realities. Each one of us has our own matrix of, let's say, 1,000, because I like 999 because upside down is a 666, and I just think that's funny. But in that one possible reality where you have no fear and the best possible outcome can be that outcome if you act, speak in truth without fear of repercussions of your actions, as long as your actions are true, right? We will eventually all gravitate to a common range of, let's say, frequencies or wavelengths, thus making the light lighter, or the load lighter for everyone. Okay, like like the picture when I was in the church and I took that still of Jesus, with the cross guy, that he's carrying something really heavy. Okay, it could be a guy working at the grocery store with a couple bags of flour. It could be a construction worker with bags of cement. Okay, whatever. The load will get lighter. The more people are on the frequency means that the highs and lows that come on being alone at said frequency in, say, God mode, where you understand the mathematics of creation, more people gravitate to that wavelength. Perhaps the more frequent the highs and lows will happen, but the peaks and valleys will get shorter and smaller, to the point where the ripples in the waters become almost still. and thus balance has been restored to the pond after, let's say, a stone was thrown in it. Okay? Now, this whole coincidence of my name, okay? Trying to not... And it's Superman. Okay, Superman's lucky because Superman gets to, like, show up in Earth, okay? In a vessel that's, like, obviously alien, right? Right from the get-go, Mom and Dad, Kent, are like, alright, this is fucked up. And all throughout his growing up was he, you know, probably a little better understood than most, you know? Let it go, let it slide, don't get angry, you know, whatever happens, happens, kind of thing. Let's just make him not feel bad, you know? Keep him innocent and pure. Teach him right so that he doesn't explode and, I don't know, put a guy through a mountain in front of lots. So either he has to go on a murderous rampage and affect that many other hearts in the world, or be outed, right, for being something special. Now, this is just math, guys, but I'm equating it to Superman. Like, it's God mode, so you see Superman now and you're like, whoa, right? Now, what happens when you create the 9x9 cell, okay? So before you have a 9x9, it's going to be less than 9x9 because you haven't made the M yet. And when you make the M, that's when you make the V with the line on top, which is what the stairway to heaven symbolizes. You make a big V, a 1x9 attached to a 1x9, circled on a singularity with a beginning, a middle, and an end. And eventually that stairway to heaven is going to create balance with the line on top. And V with a line on top is the Roman numeral for the next character in Roman numerals. After M, 1,000. V with a line on top, 5,000. You go through all the other Roman numerals. They're clearly depicted on the whiteboard. But you gotta dig to find it if you don't understand it yet. I don't know, watch a couple weird videos, you know, it's kind of like a sitcom at this point. Kind of like, ran into this the other day, was like, I wish I could have made some changes along the way, or I wish I could have done it better. Something to the lines of that. I saw that pop up in the Gematria. And I gave it like a little bit of thought, but it didn't click with me then. But you look back at everything that I did to get here, you know, like if I were to delete it all and restart over from this point, oh my God, I don't think I could. But just the sheer fact that I documented it as I went along is interesting enough. Because it's like proof. There's some really genius stuff. There's some really, like, there's highs and lows, okay? There's both. And sometimes all at the same time. Sometimes spaced out. All depends what's happening in my life, you know? It's just a collection of highs and lows. It's like a documented, it's like data. Create data. Like, I need data. Like, if like I'm going to prove something that, or prove that I'm not something, it makes more sense to me to get as much data as I can so that when the time comes and something major happens where, I don't know, something major is going to change, there's enough data that you have, that you feel good about having, to contribute to your side of the story or your point of view, which makes it kind of irrefutable if you document all the coincidences that have happened along the way by looking at math. It's like I'm mathemental, like people like to discriminate, you know, mathemental, mathemental, that's the word. It rolls off the tongue like a hair from the cat. Yeah, okay. So let's say me looking at numbers turned me mathemental, which is concerning to some, outrageous to others, hilarious to a few, sad to more. Like, anyway. Mathemental. Anyway. I like the whole thing I said about the V, instead of being like we think we're 1 of 12, let's say. You think you're a 1 of 12. Wow. 1 of 12 is... Wow. If that's 11 and it says 89, that would make 12, 55 plus 89, which would be 144. So by thinking you're 1 of 12, means you're trapped 144,000. It means you're trapped. That's the number. That would mean, because that's the one trapped. Okay, like when the X is made, it's the last one before the center of the X is 233, the 13th Fibonacci. That's the center of the X. The one above it, and when it's oscillated by a 1 by 3, it creates a new 1, but that one is only created because it's trapped. There's no other reason for it to be circled. That cell would not be circled. Okay? Hear me out. If it wasn't for the line that went on top of it to trap it. Okay? But thinking that, let's just say that you're a creator, you understand that you're a creator, you understand that everything in between man and God are reversed. Okay? And if you're man, because you don't want to be egotistical, then everything else is God. Okay? So like, you know, everything. Like this crayon sharpener is God. And man and God are reversed. So my right is God's left. But really, everything's upside down, backwards, and flipped. But if you upside down it, then, you know, which one's God's left and right? Now, if you upside down, backward, I guess, and flip, I don't know, kind of changes things. So, you understand everything is God. Doesn't make you egotistical. If you think you're God, that kind of makes you egotistical, I'd imagine. But if everything is God, man and God are flipped, okay? And you look at the data and the numbers. You look at the sacred geometry part of it all. Like, I swear to God, there was an address in the Man of Steel, like the very first, like, he goes on the oil rig and saves a bunch of oil rig guys and washes up on shore, and he gets clothes from this clothesline. And there's the number on the house is 3 digits. The middle digit is a 3. I think it's 539. But in my mind, it changes into a 3858, but anyway, because the 9 would be a circled 8, and the 3 and the 5 would be an 8, so it'd be like 3 in the middle. The first two, 1 by 2, would be an 8. And then the 5 would be the knowledge that since you made a 1 by 2, there's another 1 by 2, so there's 2 1 by 2s, and 3 selves, that's 5. And the last number is the 9, but you have to remember that everything's always circled at the end. So if you take away the circle that circles it all, that 9 becomes an 8. So that number is now 3858. Magnets needed in heaven. So when that starts happening all the time, you know, like, I don't know. I really hope that was the number. I think it was. I think it was 539. Anyway, is that here? 538. Making the whatever. W. Double V, really? W would be a -1 of a double V, because V is 22 and U is 21. So maybe the 8 is significant. You want to get out of the infinite knot. And Superman, the creation, is literally the infinite knot in the diamond. Now, I don't know if that means positive or negative, but it's like you're... Well, it just means you're looking at it from a different point of view. So it kind of means, like, I guess you're smart. So maybe it's a positive, but... No, it's a wacky ride. So yeah, like, understand self, understand your Tetris pieces, understand your matrix, understand that everyone's the one. And, like, I don't know, man, this is kind of weird.